Clerk Moscow, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Trustee Ivan, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, December 16th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Kami?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Gillis?
Here.
Trustee Ivan?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Trustee Kreis?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I declare an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Mayor, you have a quorum verified by audio or visual confirmation.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Clerk Kulaki, is there any comment from the public?
No, there was none.
Thank you, ma'am. Then we'll move on to trustee business. Trustee Kreis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a question, and this was actually brought to my attention by a resident. On the village website, the last meeting posted was from May 13th. They were being uploaded, I think, to the YouTube channel, and there's nothing since May 13th.
The videos you're talking about?
Yep, their videos aren't up. The last video was May 13th.
That is true.
That is true.
I will, in the foreseeable future, upload the rest of them, but they're all available on Facebook right now.
They're all
I
still,
didn't hear that.
they're all still available on Facebook, but Trustee Ivan will make sure that he gets them up on the YouTube page.
Okay, because unfortunately not everybody is on Facebook. And that resident told me that there's no availability for Facebook, so
Okay.
I just think if we can get them on the village website, that would be very helpful, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Trustee Ivan?
All I have is the,
You have to speak up.
all I have to discuss is the levy. Is there any other questions that haven't been already answered by your emails that you've sent beforehand?
I actually have a question, and it just came to mind, and Maggie, you are here. So, with the police and fire pensions, are we still adding the additional $25,000 a year like we had discussed in prior years?
We are. That's budgeted every year, $25,000.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Well, if there's nothing else, then I would like to make sure that it's on the consent agenda to get passed next week. Is that all right with you, Alan?
Is that good?
Yep.
All right.
Fine.
All right, thanks.
Anything else, sir?
That's it for me.
Now, Trustee Gillis.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I just want the board to know that Chief Hot Wagner will be working tomorrow, but tomorrow will be his last day for the rest of the year, and then he'll be using vacation time. So hopefully we'll have a quiet period while he's gone. But if not, everything is in good hands. I also have on the agenda his request to roll over 13 vacation days that he wasn't able to fit into his schedule this year into next year. So if we can put that on the agenda for approval for next week, I appreciate it.
Trustee Gillis, that's actually on the agenda for approval tonight. So if you want to do that today.
Okay, then. Very good. Thank you, Clerk Moscow. I'd like to make a motion to approve Chief Hot Wagner's 13 days to roll over to the 2021 fiscal year.
I'll second.
Is there any other discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Moskowitz.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thank
Trustee
you.
Lewis?
Yes, I also wanted to let the board be aware of the fact that we are down to 4 part-time firefighter paramedics on our roster. We've lost another one to a full-time position, and I think we may be losing one more of those 4 to that same position. The only saving grace we have right now, we don't have any applicants that have applied for any of the openings, but we do have a paramedic class through Ingalls System that is getting ready to graduate at the end of January, early February, so hopefully we'll be able to pull a few candidates out of that graduating class. But in the meantime, if we do have issues with manpower issues and overtime, may come into play for that reason, being down 4 and possibly 3 in the near future, so that could pose a overtime problem. Especially if the graduating class isn't as large as we hope it is. Other than that, I did want to bring up, and I'm sure everybody is aware of it, but I neglected to mention it, that one of our longtime Historical Society assistants, workers, Mr. Rick Carberg, passed away last month. So we're down to 2 people that help every week when we are open, which we are not now. But I do want to make a point that if anybody is interested in helping out and donating a couple Saturdays a month to be in a position of being there to help people who come to see the Historical Society once we are reopened again, that we are looking for people that are willing to volunteer their time to do that. With that, I also wanted to bring up if we have any idea when we can reopen the Historical Society, if that's in the near future or if we're just going to wait until things are at a different pace.
Well, I mean, technically, it could be open, just very limited people in there. I'm not sure the exact size or the fire code rating for the number of people in there, but, 5% or 5 people, 10 people, so I guess it could be open, but we should not force one of the historical society members, committee members to put themselves in that position if they don't feel comfortable, so. We'll see how the vaccine rolls out, we'll see how the numbers go, and we should get some more direction from the state early next year.
Okay, very good, thank you, and that's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Very sorry to hear about. All right, Trustee Caven?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have on my agenda for this evening is board approval for Superintendent Weiner to carry over 5 vacation days to next year. So I'd like to make the motion.
Is there a second?
For Super. I'll second.
I'll second.
Trustee Crowley seconded? Yeah. All right, any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Moskowitz.
Trustee Katie?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Anything else, Trustee Caven?
No, sir, not at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Killily?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is that on the draft for the agenda and workflow was approval for Superintendent Sperry and Ty Swanson to say 5 vacation days for rollover, and I thought I approved them, but it's not on the agenda, so that's no big deal as long as we can put it on the agenda for next for the board meeting. I must have done. I thought I clicked approve, but maybe Sunday night, I don't know where I was, but, can we make sure it's on the agenda for the board meeting?
I'm sorry, I do not remember seeing that, if you sent it to me.
Well, no, it was in workflow. And so it was, my agenda items, and I just clicked approve. So I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't click it right or whatever. But as long as it's on for next meeting, no big deal.
So,
It will be on the next board meeting.
yeah, it's
Maybe you right clicked instead of left clicked.
Maybe I center clicked. I'm not sure. But yeah, for the board meeting, it'd be fine. Okay.
Yep, Trustee Cooley.
That's all I have.
That's actually already on the agenda. It looks like when that was set up, it had December 23rd put as the date. So it is on the consent agenda next week.
Never mind. Okay, fine.
Perfect. That's all tonight?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley?
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of things tonight. First, I really want to thank the Community Policing Committee for the toy drive this past weekend. We did have a reduced manpower wrapping on Sunday, and as always, it exceeds everybody's expectation how generous the community and the village departments are. We were able to fill all of the requests that we've got for toys for children this year, and everything was wrapped and delivered by, I think, 4 p.m. on Sunday. So it was a huge success. The CPC committee all are just remarkable, and they go above and beyond to make sure that they are able to make children smile on Christmas. I just can't even. I get very full when I talk about it, because they're just a great group of people to work with, and I'm very, very lucky to work with them. I'm sorry, Kath, what?
I'm just curious, do you know how many toys you guys wrapped on Sunday?
Thousands.
I have a ballpark, but I'm waiting for the final numbers. So
Okay.
But I know how we tried to keep count when we were packaging, and there's a lot. So it's overwhelming. And if you saw the pictures, if you happen to see on Facebook, the pictures don't do it justice. Mayor, I know, I'm sure your fingers have tape and stick all over it still, because mine still do.
It's very tough to wrap a football in square paper.
It is, but you do a fine job.
Yeah, it's not fine, but it's wrapped.
But yes, so I can't say enough about how much I appreciate and enjoy working with the committee. So they do a great job. Next, I just want to mention that for the past couple I talked about Fema Grant that the police department has been working on to get some grant money for the new public safety building. That FEMA grant was submitted last week. We actually submitted it a day early, which I'm very proud of. And we are awaiting the results. This could be very big for the village and for the project, as the minimum amount that is awarded is $600,000, which will go a long way. I also sent out earlier this week an email to the board regarding coming to the completion of schematic design for the new public safety building. I hope everybody received that, and I hope everybody was happy and impressed and thinks it looks amazing. We did, as everyone knows, send out a Survey Monkey. It's also being put, if it's not already, on the village website. It's been on Facebook, and it was in the public safety newsletter to get the community's input, which is also an important component in this project. We received a lot of feedback. As of, I believe, last Friday, we had 192 responses.
Wow, excellent.
All of them, all the responses that I've received so far are very competent. A lot of good questions, good feedback, a lot of good input. So I was really happy about that. To kind of give you an example, in addition to the questions we asked, yes, it was 6 or 7 questions.
Oh, Trustee Crowley, there's some background noise. Can't tell who it is.
It's Zeus, sir.
Oh, sorry.
He thinks there's another human outside that shouldn't be there. I apologize. But the first question we asked was, what do you feel is more appropriate for the primary appearance of the new facility? Or do you feel what the primary, how do you feel it should be, the appearance of the facility? And people were, wait, I read that wrong. I think I read it. Sorry. We include a community room. We received 192 responses, and 70% were yes. They all wanted a community room that the community could also host meetings and participate and things like that. Which I'm happy to say, if you looked at the schematic design, there is a good-sized community room that will also be a multi-purpose room. How important is it to invoke a sense of civic pride and become a symbol of public safety in the community? We had an overwhelming 76% said it was extremely important, and almost 19% said it was somewhat important. So I thought that goes to show that people are really looking at, what this building is and what it means to get Midlothian back having quality sound infrastructure and, hopefully some of the other questions that people asked at the end of the survey when they had the opportunity to ask open questions, they wanted to know if it will increase taxes. President Grant is here because she's our person, but I can say that when the village board approved this, we were able to take out additional grant money by refinancing we were able to take out additional bond money by refinancing existing bonds that allowed us to not increase our debt service. Whereas I interpreted, we refinanced what we had and were able to take out more money in the same amount. Is that pretty accurate, Treasurer Britton?
It is, but I didn't hear quite all of it because you cut out. Sorry.
I said how I keep it straight in my own mind is what the village was able to do to secure the bond money for these two facilities, the public safety facility and the new public works facility, is they were refinancing existing debt at a lower cost, pay off debt that was already coming off, and obtain new bond for the same price we were paying. So we refinanced it and are still paying the same amount of money, but there will be no need to raise taxes to pay for either buildings.
That is correct.
I said it absolutely correct, Treasurer. I just want to, I'm pretty proud of it. I even used the word debt service, ma'am. I don't know if
Whoa.
I was with that too. So I just wanted to officially on the record because I know we've had this conversation, but I think sometimes, when we're talking about it, we forget that we talked about it a number of times. And so I actually do know what debt service is, but it's not always clear how that portrays into, everyone's, They also wanted to make sure that there would be additional parking, which there will be. Again, we're still in schematic design, but we do have increased the amount of parking, so that parking will an inviting appearance, which is one of our main goals with all of this is to make sure that it's a building that the entire community can be proud of. And where this is not me answering this or putting this comment in, but the third most asked question or request that was submitted by comments was to have an area for stray animals.
Oh,
I assure everybody that is on our priority list. So I was very happy to hear that because we've all done a lot of work to make sure that we have an animal care and control officer, that we are, that is friendly to our pets and take pride in that. So going forward with the new public safety building, that is definitely in the plan. And
That's great.
And then last, sorry. One more thing. I just wanted to know if anybody had any questions for me regarding the schematic design that I sent out today.
Andy, I'm still in the process of looking at it. I don't have any questions just yet, but I'll get back to you in a couple days.
Tell me if you have any questions or any insight. As I said, I'll keep the board posted. We're hoping in the next couple weeks to have more than just a little peek at what it might look like so that we can start getting it out to the residents so that they can see the facility and have some input as well. But I hope everybody got a chance to kind of glance and see that we're definitely hoping to make a that we're proud to have here in Midlothian.
May I ask a question? I know you were concerned about this too. Does it look like we're staying on or under budget?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Going into design and development without any grant funding and without any of the other funding opportunities we have, we are on budget. We're probably a little bit below budget. But we hope that, we have a couple other things that we might look at to even make that a little bit better, but we really have to see where the grant comes in first, because we do have some requirements with regards to the storm shelter and things like that. And we've talked to a couple different people, and the grant will be huge in keeping that manageable in our budget. And also, like I said, there's some other options that we have that we might be able to do once we know how much the grant is going to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My last thing is that just kind of a little tidbit. I know I've talked to Trustee Killeley, and Trustee Killeley, I know that I just sent out another email, but Public Works is going to be in the process of negotiating their contract with the architect to move forward with the Public Works facility as well. So that is in the works as well. And I know Trustee Killeley is really, really, really excited to get started with it. Right, Trustee? Is he there?
Very excited, yes.
Right, trustee?
And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Attorney Valdez?
Just to remind the board that we have a little over 2 weeks left to get those sexual harassment certifications and trainings done throughout the village. Every employee must, and department head and elected officer must have the training. And so we need the certifications for that to come in before December 31st.
Wait, did you just say, do the elected officials have to do it also? Because I was told that we did not.
If you hadn't had it done yet.
Wait.
So if you had it done already, no.
Okay, I'm not clear on that. Do the elected officials have to complete the sexual harassment training?
If you have not had it done yet, yes.
Okay.
Is there anybody who can tell us if we did have it done already or not?
You should have a certificate. It was done, the only sexual harassment training was done in, about 4.5, 5 years ago by IMRL or whatever they are. We had an attorney come out and do training, but I think that was really mainly done for the administration. It wasn't done for anybody else. So I don't expect that anybody else really has that certificate.
Attorney Valdez,
The video is available on the website.
where would, if we need to have it done through the village, where would we go to do?
There is a video available in the IRML website. and you click on that.
IRML.
Illinois Municipal.
Illinois Municipal Retirement League.
Is it IRML?
Well, it's the IML, the Illinois Municipal.
We got it through our insurance on their website.
And our insurance is not IRM.
It's I.
Can someone send us a link?
Yeah, maybe send a link around.
No, that's.
Pardon?
Could someone send a link around to everyone who needs to take it?
Maggie, do you have the link that you sent to the department heads to get
I
the employees?
do. And
Can
I
you
have
send that to the board, please?
yes, I will do that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
And there was a question about the process for engineering firms for the Jolly Homes area by Trustee Kreis, the Brooks Act regarding interviews. We've discussed it, and there is no conflict. It's just a clarification on the process, and we will be holding interviews for the people that submitted the application. So we don't need to start the process over. We'll just move forward. We'll get we'll have an email sent out to all the candidates, and we'll set up interviews as soon as possible.
Well, first of all, Mayor, I think we need to do, I was waiting to get clarification on this, and I think before we do that, we need to, the first process will be to send to the committee the sheets that Kate Avasic and I worked on. I wanted to wait to send those out.
Sure.
The scoring requirements, and then we should probably have a Zoom meeting. Kate will send out a doodle poll, and we'll kind of have we'll have a meeting to discuss the process so that everybody's on the same page. And then we'll work on scoring the 5 proposals, and then the interviews will be set up after that time.
We don't have the proposals yet, do we?
Oh, Joe sent those out months ago.
Yeah, I've already been through them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, were we kept informed of this? I don't remember him telling us that he sent the proposals out, or did he? Did he? I don't recall.
He emailed them all to.
And it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
He emailed what?
The proposals.
Proposals.
To all of us?
Yeah, but was Trustee Caveney on the committee then? Was it before Trustee Caveney joined the committee for score?
I will
for this?
search my
Maybe she
email.
didn't get it.
I will search my email, and I will find out and I'll resend it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll set that up there, Trustee Kreis,
I will, yes,
Maybe.
as long as we will conduct the interviews. I was just a little concerned after I read that and I found that conflict. And Attorney Valadez, I just want to make sure there's no other conflicts
No.
with the county documents or the FHWA. I just wanted to make sure.
No.
Okay, thank you.
all right, and that's it? Attorney Valadez?
That's all I have.
All right, just do anything under my business, just that we conducted the public hearing tonight for the proposed Midlothian downtown TIF. There was no comments or correspondence from the public or the board, so the next steps will be getting the ordinance to approve the proposed downtown TIF. We have to wait 14 days after the hearing that we had tonight, so we will get it on the agenda early next year, early January, so that we can move this thing along. And that is all I have tonight. Clerk Moscow?
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I thought Mayor or Clerk Moscow, you might bring this up. What's the status of the renewal for the Class 8 for Ambience Midlothian / Aura?
They are going to come before the board in January to propose a state to give their case, state their case, and we will have to get an ordinance on the agenda for approval or not.
Okay, I guess I just have a question because I was copied on an email that went out to us. It was to the clerk, and the mayor and myself were copied, and it was December 8th. And so maybe the attorney can clarify this. They said, while it was unlikely that they would receive a resolution prior to December 21st, the assessor's office will accept a letter from the village in lieu of the resolution confirming that ownership has contacted the village seeking support of the incentive renewal. So has that been done?
That has been done, yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Could I get a copy of that, please?
Of what? The email?
Of the letter that we sent to them. Probably the whole board would like to see it.
It's a letter that says, they approached the board for this renewal and that, the board is discussing it and, will entertain the idea after the new year.
Okay, could we just get a copy of it, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing there's no further business come before the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Enjoy the rest of the night, rest of the week.
Everybody stay safe.
Safe, healthy.
Hey, everyone.